The important thing is that this story happened a long time ago, which means the storyteller didn't specify exactly when it happened. However, from his words, it's clear that it's a story dating back to the 90s, or maybe even the 80s, so it's been more than 30 years. The storyteller says that they had a home phone number, and their number was very similar to the number of a pizza restaurant branch in their city. The only difference between us and them was just one digit. The pizza place's number was 555-455-5575, and our number was the same, except that it had a different last digit, meaning the difference was just between the last two digits. Of course, people sometimes confused them, and this was even before the era of mobile phones. At that time, there were only landline phones. So the point is that for years, people kept calling us, ordering pizza from time to time. Some people didn't even understand when told that this was the wrong number. Some would call us multiple times, maybe because they were either intoxicated or confused, and some even yelled at us, cursed us, and made various threats. The problem was that the pizza place knew about the issue, as we informed them multiple times. However, they didn't do anything to find a solution. The unfortunate part was that Pizza Hut decided to run an advertising campaign in newspapers, billboards, and phone directories and other places. But I think it made things worse, because they accidentally put our home number instead of their branch number in our city. Honestly, I still don't understand how people couldn't differentiate between the numbers, not even the company itself, which should have been vigilant in such matters. After this mistake, our phone was bombarded with calls. Previously, we used to receive 3 to 5 calls a day, but after the ad, it jumped to 100 to 200 calls a day. We always answered and told them that this wasn't Pizza Hut, giving them the correct number in the hope that they'd understand over time and people who called would not bother us again. But it was of no use. We kept getting an overwhelming number of calls without respite. We received very annoying messages in the voicemails after ignoring some of them. Sometimes people even threatened us, saying they'd come over and harm the person responsible for this mess. We used to receive these messages daily. I can't count the number of times I cursed, screamed, or hung up on people when trying to direct them to the correct number, but none of them were willing to understand or listen at all. During these events, my dad called the Pizza Hut branch and told them that we didn't want to change our number, but if they couldn't find a solution and stop these calls, they should at least cover the cost of changing our number. The cost of changing the number was only $10 at that time, but instead of listening to us, the manager said to my dad, "Why are you bothering us?" In other words, he annoyed us. He caused us harm because even reviews started mentioning the issue, and we were losing customers because of them. My dad, who had been speaking on speakerphone, left the phone call hanging and said, "All right, I'll show you some manners." Afterward, my dad asked my sister and me to answer all the calls that came to our home phone. When people called, we told them that their order would be delivered in an hour and a half, and when they called again, irritated by the delay, we apologized and told them that the delivery person had left a while ago and their order would arrive soon. If they called a third time, we said, maybe we should transfer you to the manager. Then we'd get someone else on the line pretending to be the manager saying, "Listen, idiots, you won't get your pizza. We won't refund your money either. We've had enough of you." Or something to that effect. We continued like this for 2 weeks, and then my dad called the Pizza Hut branch again and asked them to change our number again at their expense. The manager yelled at him again, saying he wouldn't change it and that they couldn't afford it. We even tried calling other Pizza Hut branches or their company to resolve the issue, but it was all in vain. No one was willing to listen, and everyone was stubborn. In any case, we replied, "Okay, no problem. We won't pay the $10, and we'll continue with the same game for 2 reasons. Firstly, my father bought a new phone with a feature that allows call forwarding to another number. Secondly, my sister and I had finished school, and summer had arrived, leaving us with a lot of free time. We were having a blast, treating this whole thing like a game, to be honest. We kept receiving calls every day, and even our friends, when they visited us at home, enjoyed participating in pranking people and disciplining the pizza restaurant. We continued in this state, and now, after pushing people to their utmost limit of anger, we tell them that we'll transfer them to the manager. Using the call transfer button on our new phone, we could easily redirect their calls to the real Pizza Hut number when they were in a state of extreme frustration. After a few weeks, it seems that the Pizza Hut company caught wind of the situation, and they called us, threatening legal action and accusing us of stealing their calls. I don't know how they reached such a level of absurdity, claiming that we were stealing their calls when they were the ones at fault in the first place. Anyway, we had a recording of the previous call when we contacted them several weeks ago and explained the situation to them, but they completely ignored us and didn't listen to the recording. We told them that we literally called them and explained the whole situation to them, but they completely ignored us. How can you threaten us with legal action when you're the ones in the wrong? Honestly, it didn't seem like anyone cared, or that there was any point in talking to them at all. No one listened to what they kept saying to us, claiming that we were in the wrong, that it was illegal, and that we needed to stop. Of course, we didn't stop and we never heard them. They knew what was going on, understood the problem, and didn't want to do anything to resolve the situation, even though it was entirely their fault. We continued with this game for 6 weeks until a Pizza Hut branch in our city closed. After that, the manager, who used to yell at my father when he was on the line, called our house to argue with my father and accuse him of being a bad person and causing trouble, even to the point of physical harm. Some people even went to the restaurant and physically attacked him. It seems that we pushed some people to the point where they got so angry that they even attacked the restaurant employees who were with us. Honestly, we felt a little guilty, but it was their mistake, and they were entirely responsible for the situation and should bear the consequences of their actions and decisions. To this day, after decades of this story, I still don't understand how a large company chose to ignore the issue, losing thousands of dollars, to the point where one of their branches had to close down instead of just paying the $10 to change our number. This was the story we had, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.